underestimate him.
I want him found.
There's something on my back. It's a bomb.
You want your revenge? You come and get it.
Tell them to get back! Get back! It is a trap! I repeat, it is a trap!
Take cover!
Arthur is the once and future king who will unite the land of Albion. Without you, we'll never succeed.
Well, when one door closes, another door opens.
That's right, and these doors open up to a live studio audience in the legendary concert hall at the Masonic Temple. And for the next hour, we're going to be talking all about Stargate Universe.
That's right, so what do you say we roll it?
I say we roll it. Special. I'm AJ Frock. Thank you for joining us, and thank you everyone for joining us. Boy,
how awesome is this? I'm Teddy Wilson. Now, every Friday night on InnerSpace, we talk SGU. We discuss our theories, what may be coming up next, but I think it's safe to say that tonight things are going to run a tad differently.
I suppose, a little bit differently. As we said, we're here at the Masonic Temple in front of a live studio audience. You wonderful, good-looking people, you.
Stop pandering.
All right. And we've also got the whole cast of Stargate Universe here, so buckle up. Because we're taking you on a very wild ride.
That's right, and with so many great guests in store, the next hour, I promise you, will be truly amazing. But to get it started, let's take a look at the character that everybody loves.
Or loves to hate.
You got a whole hour to debate it?
We will.
All right, here's your look at Dr. Nicholas Rush.
I was never ever going home. I said, forget it, I guess where I'm going. This ship was named Destiny for a reason. I'll show it to you.
There you go, and it's an incredible honor to have the man behind Nicholas Rush here in person. Please, everyone, give a warm welcome to Mr. Robert Carlyle.
Welcome. How you doing?
Wow.
I think it's fair to say we're a bit excited to have you here. Am I right?
Thank you very much.
When we first found out that you were going to be in the cast of Stargate Universe back before season 1 started, it felt like a win for the sci-fi and genre community because we're fans as well. And I remember thinking, that is awesome. The character has evolved a lot over this first season and a half. What's the biggest challenge now about playing this complex character?
Well, I mean, there's many different challenges, I suppose, in different episodes, but yeah. It's a pleasure, actually, to play the part. It really, really is. I mean, I don't know what the guys think about Dr. Nicholas Rush, but I love him.
I love him, too. What about you, AJ?
Well, I'm usually on InnerSpace critical of Rush.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah. This is going to be an awkward hour. Well, tonight's episode was called The Greater Good, and Rush is always saying, oh, I'm all about the greater good. Is that really the case? Do you believe in your character? What do you think his motivation is? Because in this episode, it was part science, but then he was trying to pass it off as part personal as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he could have got away in this episode with not revealing where the bridge was, that would have been good for him. But, I mean, obviously it all came out in the wash, as we say. I believe him. I think it is about the greater good for Rush. I think that there is nothing greater for him to experience and explore the universe and pass that on, perhaps, to others. But the bigger thing for Rush, and this is just my own personal thing, I'm looking at the producers here as well, I feel deep down that if Rush is about anything, then surely he's got to be looking towards ascension. That's what he's trying to get to, I think. Because there's nothing else left for him back at home. There's no point in even thinking about home for Rush, so onward and upward.
So it's really about a sort of quest for immortality in a way, right?
Absolutely, I think that's what he wants, yeah.
I want to ask you, before we keep going here, about the episode you directed, Pathogen. It's one of my favorites from SGU. What was it like to direct that episode? You had the great stuff with Eli and his mom. What was it like to direct the cast?
It was a fantastic opportunity to do that. A wonderful script as well, written by Carl Binder, my friend right here. The guys, Rad and Robert, had spoken to me in the previous season about the possibility of directing. I've directed in the theatre for many, many years and stuff like that, so it was, in terms of the work with the actors, that was going to be, kind of normal thing for me. The technicalities of it, that was something entirely different, and that was I found that a little bit tricky. But I think one of the reasons perhaps that the guys gave me that episode to direct is because it concentrated pretty much on the performances, the relationship between Eli and his mother, and obviously Camille Ray and her girlfriend back home. So these were the things they tried to flesh out.
Well, thank you for directing.
Yeah, we did get a lot of amazing performances in that episode. And in tonight's episode, between you and Louis Ferreira, obviously Rush and Colonel Young butting heads once again. So now we're going to take a look at your biggest rival, who you did literally butt heads with tonight. Here's a look at Colonel Young.
I just want to get these people home. That is why we need you. Because you feel it.
Hit me! Hit me!
I killed him. I suffocated him with my own hands. I'm on my way.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge InnerSpace welcome to the man behind Colonel Young, Louis Ferreira.
This is my hometown. Jane and Finch represent.
Well, you're no stranger to InnerSpace. We've had you on the show before, so have you given any advice to your castmates about what might happen out here? Any advice?
Did you warn them about AJ, basically?
I did. They're all ready for you guys.
Okay. I want to ask you, tonight's episode, and especially last week's episode, we saw, are you comfortable?
Yeah, I'm trying to get it's my actor interview
Distinguished, sir. That's the actor interview pose. Let me ask you an actory question then. This week we saw your vulnerability, but especially last week. Is that part of the attraction to this character, the duality? Sometimes Colonel Young is so self-possessed and so confident, but we've seen a different side of Colonel Young recently. Is that part of the appeal?
I think that was one of the things that drew us all to the show, was the idea that we were both going to be antagonist and protagonist, and I love that idea. The reality is we all have that. That duality is what I think makes things interesting, and I think all the characters across the board have that, and I think just because of the nature of the situation, this little civilization, this group stuck in space in this floating tin can, that psychology actually plays into it a lot more, just due to the circumstances.
Right.
How was that, Bobby? That's brilliant. Whoa! Well done, man. Thank you, man. That's it. I'm good.
It seems like there might be a new alliance, with Rush saving Colonel Young at the end there. Who's going to have control of the Destiny from here on out? Is Young going to be stepping back a bit?
We're sworn to secrecy.
We unswear you.
Yeah. You won't swear. I'm not going to tell you. You go. I've done my bit. It's your turn.
Do you feel like things have changed lately, though, because the ship has really emerged as an active player here? So do you feel like, not even just between Rush and Young, but with the crew in general, do you feel like they've had a bit of power pulled away from them by the ship itself?
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, in terms of Young and Rush, I think that there is a kind of an attempt to get on with each other. I think just for the sake of the crew, which we've said a few times before in the show, but for the sake of the mission, in fact, it's time for them to put their disagreements behind them and move on. How long that lasts is the question.
Yeah, but it definitely was a turning point in the episode you guys just watched.
Yeah.
That was an attempt from Rush to sort of reach out to him as a person, not as a scientist necessarily. And I thought that was interesting.
And literally reach out at one point. I should tell you, when the audience here watched the episode, when there was that moment of Rush saving Young, everybody cheered. Am I right? That was pretty
cool,
intense.
yeah.
All right. Well, AJ and I often argue about who's really running things on the Destiny, Rush or Young. We'll be talking about that and more after the break, so stick around.